Time for another project. I'm gonna make a chemise this time, but I need fabric. Here we go! Behold the fabric we will be using for this chemise today. She is an off-white sheet that had originally come from Costco, but yours truly got it from the thrift store for all of $1. Now I will say there are some parts of her that are a little threadbare. I would have to say the former owner did know what a quality sheet this was because there were tiny little holes up around the hems of the sheet itself, and also at the wide hem at the top there was a point where it had been rubbed open. It had been used so many times. But this sheet is also completely free of stains, so I would be more than happy to facilitate her retirement. So for the length of this garment, I mostly measured from the top of my shoulder to the floor, which I'm kind of tall, so it's a pretty long way down. I measured from the top to the bottom hem several times to make sure I got a straight line across the fabric, and then went down an additional 6 inches to make sure this thing would be long enough, even including the ruffle. It was basically long enough. I have to say I did a decent job on that aspect. So here you can see me marking the bottom hem with a ruler and a friction pen. Because I have a limited space to cut all of this, I decided I would just kind of fold the sheet into quarters and draw a line across that, and then just cut the entire thing in about 1/4 of the time. Now I will say I do wish I'd kind of taken the time to iron this as much as I could before doing the cutting. It doesn't make a huge difference in this particular case considering the measurements were kind of vague, but you know, you live and learn. So with my blue line in place, I feel quite confident in my ability to cut a straight line across this fabric and thus get mostly an even hem, not accounting for, the volume of the bust and whatnot. And in doing so, I have the fabric for my sleeves as well, which is more than enough. Now with this fully cut to length, all I have to do is divide it into 2 pieces, which I can do by cutting as straight a line as possible down that fold. Once that's already cut off, all there is left to do is to cut off the hems on either side of the sheet. Now this was mildly difficult because of how often this thing was washed and dried and never ironed, which who irons a sheet? If you do, I'm not judging, I just could not. My life is not that together. Once that's out of the way, all we have to deal with now is what's left to make the sleeves, which is a nice hearty amount, and frankly I kind of wish I'd used more of it. The sleeves were nice and they were poofy, but maybe not as much as I would have liked. So I cut off the length of this I didn't need and then cut the remaining fabric into half so I would have 2 sleeves exactly, as I only have 2 arms at this time. I also went in and added these little angles to the sides of the sleeve so that they would attach easier to the body. And honestly, as far as pattern goes, there's not much more to it than this, which is great because I don't think I recorded a whole lot more to it than this. So I am getting better every video, I bet. There isn't a whole lot to the assembly of this chemise, and I'm pretty sure someone could probably explain it better than I do, which is great because I didn't record a whole lot more of it. So I wound up just going ahead and sewing the angled portions of the sleeves to the main body of the chemise, and only at this point did I realize, oh yeah, I do need a channel for the elastic. And in doing so, I gave myself probably a good 3 inches of ruffle right at the wrists, which I'm a huge fan of. that business out of the way, and I went ahead and turned the shoulder seams into French seams. Then I sewed up all of the sides up right under the armpit, double folded the bottom hem, and then did the ruffles for the top, which only gave me about an inch or so, which that was actually just fine. After that, all the necessary elastic was added, and now we have the reveal. And overall, I think this went over pretty good. It's actually a really nice length on me. Now, I cannot pull this up over my shoulders because of how I had hemmed it at the top, but I don't mind that too much. I also added a couple of strings in the front so I could tie her closed. Obviously, we can't stop there. I went ahead and threw on a black skirt and an Amazon corset and then grabbed a blanket, and I think this looks actually pretty good, except for the fact that I didn't make sure the skirt was down all the way around. Oops. But I think I could take this even further. With this, I have a green dress I got from Kmart, as well as an orange flannel shirt I just tucked up under there, and my Amazon corset. Here we also have a parasol that I needed to take with me to the Ren Fair that I also need to make a sheath for. But wait, I can in fact take this much further. That's about it for this chemise. I'm actually overall pretty happy with how this came out. You may notice I took a few shortcuts with this, for example, not bothering to match the thread or things like that. But a lot of that comes from me trying to fight off analysis paralysis, in which I'm so caught up in making this completely perfect that I wind up not doing anything at all. You'll actually notice that I didn't have my little figure in the last video, and the video quality wasn't that great, but I posted it anyways, because right now what I need to focus on is actually just making things and putting out content. Even if it's not going to be great right now, I have to trust that in time I'm going to find my style, so there may be a bit of shifting going around on this channel, although I do like my little figure, so she will probably be sticking around for the most part. But there are a lot of really talented costuming YouTubers out there, and you should actually follow almost all of them, probably. And I'm sure at one point they were in the same position I was, or maybe they actually have confidence. I don't know. But I have to think that their style came through hard work and experimenting. And if I'm going to ever achieve that level, I have to stop comparing myself to them, and that is my plan for right now. So, if you like what you see, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will keep trying to put these out at a more regular pace than I had been in the past. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. It is pretty out here, and look, there's a snake sunning himself by the creek. Don't go in there, snake, trust me.